Alright, in Satisfactory, you're constantly looking for the way to produce more and more power, right? So today I want to show you my 100 gigawatt power plant, or 100,000 megawatts, however you prefer. Because this build that I want to show you today is one of my favorite power builds. Honestly, I know there is maybe better builds and so on, but this is so easy to make. It's absolutely one of like must-have builds in Satisfactory. But before that, welcome back to Marco Gaming. I'm Marco, and let's do this. First thing is that I want to show you actually where this build is. Let me just open the map. This power plant is in Spire Coast. As you can see here, in Spire Coast, you have crazy amount of oil, around 3,000 crude oil per minute. Of course, when you fully overclock all of the nodes. But that is not so important right here. Why I choose this location, honestly, for this is because this biome is honestly kind of lacking of everything else. It have like plenty of oil. Now they added some more, but this biome was crazy filled with oil. That is why I always build this here. But honestly, this is one of my like biggest power plant yet. I always build here in the Spire Coast. I always build similar build to this, but this is one of the biggest so far I've built. Let's just jump in and just tell you what exactly is here, what the recipes I use, and so on and so on. So, okay, before I actually go there, I want to tell you that this build, I already said it's very easy. Yes, it is. But you need two alternative recipes to actually be able to build this. The first alternative recipe is heavy low residue. This is one of the most important recipes in Satisfactory. I mean, you can argue that is not, but honestly, you're wrong. Okay, you're just wrong. That recipe, it just unlocks you like crazy possibilities. I will just say that, nothing else. The next recipe that you sadly need is the dilated fuel recipe. Why I said sadly? Because the dilated fuel recipe can be a little bit late, honestly. The turbo fuel comes much sooner than this, because I think, correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong, but you can get dilated fuel recipe only if you unlock blenders. That's why this recipe is very like late. I mean, very late. Kinda, it's not late game, but it's not middle game. Something in between. Let's say that. Okay. So, yeah, as already said, it's kind of late, but it's fine. Because when you get this recipe, this is one step closer to nuclear power plant. I know now everybody is like talking about the rocket fuel and everything, but if you're asking me, I don't know, I just love building nuclear power plant. So this is one step closer to that, basically, point. Now, I told you the recipes that we made and that you need, actually. So now, how you actually build this? Well, you need, of course, two things. One is oil, and the other thing is water, which is plenty of both here in Spire Coast. And as you can see here, the entire build is divided in 5 like lanes. Let's call it like that. And also, you may ask, what is this? I will explain you in a second. So, 5 lanes, and each of these have this thingy. That is the oil tower. I have problems in update 8 with this build that actually last refineries are not getting enough oil. So to actually skip that, or to fix that, I built this monstrosity of a tower. And guess what? It actually works. Now all my refineries are working 100%. And that is just beautiful. This build is all about it. Update 8 was actually problematic about that, but now finally it kind of fixed. For one lane you need 600 oil per minute, and you will create these 4 lanes actually, and each of these lanes are producing 5,000 megawatts. So of course you have 5 of them, you produce 100 gigawatts of power. Now with that said, what you need to create first is 5 refineries that are producing heavy oil residue. You need 200 heavy oil residue for this one lane. Let's call it mini lane, okay? And also you will see that I heavily use blueprints for this build. And also this is actually my first ever build that I use blueprints this much. So I must say I'm very, very proud of myself. Alright, after these 5 refineries, you will need 4 blenders, because you need 400 fuel to make this power plant works, I mean each mini lane work. That's why 4 blenders, each of blender are producing 100 fuel per minute. And of course, after blenders, you need water extractors because, well, as I already said, you need water. 400 water, to be exact, so you can actually use even less water extractors if you want to overclock them, but for now we don't have that much of the power shards, so I will just build 4 and it's fine, you know. And now we are at the final part of the build, and that is fuel generators. But before fuel generators, I always build this. This is like to prevent overflow of fuel to go back to the blenders, because in this build everything needs to work 100%. If not, then your generators will clog and stuff like that, so you don't want that. That's why it's very important for generators to just work 100%. Not just generators, blenders, refineries, everything. Because if one fail, entire line fail. I mean, obviously. So that is why I built these. And now it's time for us to build generators. You need 20 generators in a row for this mini lane. Of course, as I already said in the beginning, this many generators are going to produce 5,000 megawatts or 5 gigawatts of power, however you want to, however is easier for you. Now I will connect all the generators, and also comment down below, do you want me to maybe edit how to build this entire lane like piece by piece, or this is just fine? It will be very helpful actually. Also, I think I need to say, I made around the generators like a pipe, so it's closed system, so the fuel will just go around the generators. And also at the end of that loop is this, the fluid buffer. Why fluid buffer? Well, if there is any excess fuel, it will go into the fluid buffer, and also if there is a lacking of the fuel will come from the buffer into the closed loop. Of course, as you can see now, I am just closing the loop, and basically this is it. Alright, so the lane is built, I mean entire power plant is built. Now I just want to say a little, like, let's say tips, alright? How you turn on the entire lane. Okay, the first thing you actually want to do is you start producing fuel, and you wait for this fluid buffer to get, like, I don't know, maybe 300 to 400 fuel inside, maybe even more. As you can see here, I didn't do that, but it's fine. Before you actually turn on the generators, there is no issue if there is so much fuel in the system. There is no issue because of that fluid buffer over there. Also, don't do that for like blenders, because the blenders can have issues of clogging with fuel, to be honest. So as soon as you turn on the refineries for the heavy oil residue, automatically you can turn on the blenders. So that's it. Just don't overproduce fuel. That is also very, very bad. That is one tip for this. Next is for the oil that I want to show you. Before you actually turn on the mini lane, you want to make sure that fluid buffer is like maybe half or more than half full. Will help you with flow and everything. So that is my 2 tips for this build, so you don't have any issues that I had. I will show you one more thing, by the way. But before that, I want to tell you what else I like about this build. As you can see, this entire power plant is producing resin, and it's not producing a small amount of resin, by the way. It produces 2000 resin per minute. Of course, you can sink it, but honestly, why? Because you can make 1000 rubber per minute. Basically free rubber, right? I mean, that's why I just love this build. You get crazy amount of power, and also you get rubber. You can also make plastic, but honestly, I suggest you make rubber because you are getting more rubber with this amount of resin. And of course, a little bit of train stations. I mean, little. Aha. Well, that is all about this power plant. Yeah. So comment down below if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer them. And well, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really help my channel out. And as always, have a great day. And see you in the next video. Bye.